And welcome everybody to TechInform Live. My name is Trevor and I am the owner of TechInform, techinform.us. I am super excited to be here. This is actually my second attempt of this live stream today because there were some technical issues earlier. I'm hoping I address some of those, but I will still say this is very much an experiment show. Like, part of the content I want to make here on TechInform, actually a good chunk of it is going to be like this. It's going to be live here in the studio. And I'm super excited about that. But like, you don't just like do a live stream perfect the first time. There's a lot of things that come together. I had some audio issues. My camera kept freezing up. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time around. I had to change some software around. I added that great AI theme music in the beginning there. I got some more surprises as we go throughout the stream. And then I also realized that like, I was actually fairly happy with my last attempt at this live stream. But at one point, I didn't realize there was audio being shared by a tab I had open. We were looking at the new iPhones and stuff, and there was an Apple ad, and it was just like blasting it like crazy. And I was also, my audio is breaking up at times. I couldn't figure that one out. I blame a lot of those issues on Streamlabs. So I'm just using OBS now, and I think we're going to do a lot better here. But anyway, welcome to TechInform. There's so much to talk about. In this first episode, it's not going to be a normal episode of TechInform Live where, I don't know, we talk about tech, what's going on, and my opinions on things and whatever else. This episode's going to be a little bit different. This episode's going to be a lot about just testing everything, making sure everything's working, and also talking about TechInform itself. Also, I'm still getting over a cold, and I have to cough every so often, so I'm going to do my best to mute myself before I do so. I got a cough right now, so I'm going to mute myself. But if I don't mute myself, I apologize. I'm trying my best. This cold has been terrible. But anyway, with all of that being said, I'm just super excited to be here. TechInform has been a part of my life for a long time in one way or the other, because I originally joined TechInform as like a contributor and back-end kind of developer when I was literally just a kid, and I think I was just getting into high school, or even maybe into middle school. I think it was high school though. I don't quite remember. In my last video I posted here on the channel introducing like, hey, TechInform's back. I talked a little bit more about it, but I loved TechInform even before I was part of it. I love that it was a tech blog. We'll have to find, hold on, let's go to the Wayback Machine and we'll find what it used to look like back in the day. Because I always love looking at how the website used to look like. And this is a great way for us to test our screen sharing abilities. Here we go. So you can see, been along for a long time. But 2011 is when it really launched. 2010, there was technically a website. This will take a second to load here. And the perfect time because I have to cough anyway. This was like the original website made on iWeb 09 on a MacBook Pro. This was made by the original creator of TechInform, Ryan. He's a big part of the TechInform story. I talked a bit about him in the last video as well. You can see here this was made, the images are gone and everything, but this is funny. This reminds me of like those olden days too, just this iWeb website. I totally made websites back in the day with iWeb and everything. I thought it was so cool. I think my first podcast was hosted through iWeb. Actually, that was a really cool feature Apple had. Apple let you make and host your own podcast. I've done it with this old iMac G4 even. You can make websites and you can host podcasts back in the day. It was pretty cool. But anyway, what I want to see, is 2011. This is when the site really became more or less a real thing. And the Wayback Machine always takes a second here, so bear with it. This is what I remember the site being, just like this. Oh, this brings back such nostalgia. I loved this version of the site. I wish it still existed. I really wish it still existed because I would totally bring this specific version of the site back. I remember a lot. I've been trying to look for the Wayback Machine to see if when I was posting stuff, if I could find something for me, and I have yet to do so. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's a lot of stuff in the Wayback Machine. Yeah, I don't think so, because I remember I redid the live page when I joined the site. I'll have to eventually do that. My goal is to still archive all these old blog posts. I only have like 2016 and onward. I'd love to bring back some of this old stuff for sure. But it's really only here on archive.org, so getting it off of there is... Oh no, my camera froze up. When did that happen? Oh no. Why? Why? Well, it's not the software. Why? I'm testing this for an hour, not live streaming, no problems. The second, you know what? Hold on. You know what? Let's test something else real quick while I'm about to murder someone. Let's test "We'll Be Right Back" music, because that's always fun. And I'm going to try one simple thing right now to try to fix this. Okay, maybe it's fixed. I don't know. I had an HDMI, I guess splitter hub, and I guess it'd be a hub that was like one input, two output type thing. I'm almost wondering if that was like getting convoluted with the capture card somehow. Because it's like the camera itself isn't directly plugged into, you know, the computer, the capture card. And I couldn't figure out the issues, the capture card, that, or I'm using an SDI to HDMI adapter from Blackmagic to even get all this working. And maybe it's that, but I also know that I've been looking at like a clean live feed from the camera on a monitor here, and that was working fine. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe this is going to freeze up again. Maybe it won't. But now we are going directly from the camera to the, through SDI, to the Blackmagic SDI to HDMI converter thing, and then to the capture card on the computer. I'm out of ideas. I swear I had this running for over an hour without any issues. I click live and then we have an issue. I am so over the capture card issues. So please, please, camera gods out there, let's just make this work. Okay? Okay. Whew. Well, anyway, where were we before that terrible camera freezing issue? Oh yeah, that's right. Just look at this site, guys. This is what TechInform started as. I mean, this is little blog posts. And to be honest, look, there were comments back then, which is also kind of amazing. Like, this site had some traffic back in the day. It was a hub for geeks to learn about tech, and it was a great community. Like, some names you'll see a lot in the olden days, of course, Ryan, Colton. I don't want to forget someone, but actually, I don't know all the people from these earlier days. I don't know who Cameron is, but yeah, I mean, it was a different time. Oh, the 4S launch, amazing. So yeah, it you know, it started as a tech blog, and look, it's technically still a tech blog today. It just looks a hell of a lot different. This is the current revision of the site. Now, I didn't realize this. I realized it in my last attempt to make this live stream. I got to decide really quickly if I'm going to keep this website or scrap it. Hold on, cough. Because there's a couple problems we got going on with the site as it stands right now. One, this site costs money. It also does not match the aesthetic we're going for at all with TechInform anymore. I redid this site a few months ago when I first became like editor-in-chief of TechInform. I was not the sole owner at that point, so I was still trying to do written content, make that, you know, into a thing. But I know I've decided, especially now that I fully own TechInform, like, written media is kind of dead. But it doesn't mean I don't want a website still. I still want to have posts. And actually, I want them more than ever in a way. I want to log into this and share this with you guys. So the back end of this, of our platform uses Ghost. Now, it is, you know, you have to pay for it, which, you know, it's a lot more expensive than just a WordPress website. However, I've been contemplating going back to the WordPress website because actually, I'm going a million miles per hour right here. But to give you perspective on this too, the last version of, I have a backup of the last version of the WordPress site, right as I took it over, and that is this guy right here. So this is the last copy of, of the WordPress site. And I've thought about just bringing this back, making it a little more modern and everything, but bringing this back for nostalgia. It's not quite as good as the old one. It's definitely not. I wish I had access to that old WordPress theme and everything, but this is the last version I have. However, I just saw this today and I've been extremely impressed. The SEO using Ghost. And this was just updated like a week ago, so there's not much information here. But just since then, let's just look the last 7 days. 503 views, 443 unique visitors. And it's so interesting what people are actually looking at here. Can I make this a little bit bigger for you guys? Sorry, this is... Yeah, that's a bit better. Let's do that. And then we can probably just does this work? Totally does. Cool. So this is super impressive here. This is, again, last 7 days, and I haven't posted anything new on the site really in quite some time. But look at the top sources, Google. So if you correlate some of this information together, Google's top source. The top content is, I've been using an iPad mini as my phone, and it actually works. That was a post I made back in May. Okay. The data here doesn't exist because this wasn't here till it got updated. Anyway, my point to this being is people must be Google searching. Oh, that doesn't do anything. People must be Google searching. Oh no, the camera froze up again. I do not understand. What if I use buffering? I just put buffering on. I don't know if that's going to make any difference whatsoever. Anyway, I digress. Keep getting so distracted every time that happens. That means people are Googling things like, I look at it like this. Someone's Googling, I've been using, or how to use an iPad mini as a phone. To me, that's what is happening here. Maybe I'm wrong, but that to me is what's happening. And that's really good organic traffic. I mean, granted, some of these don't have, as good as visitors as others, but even Mac versus PC in 2025, maybe someone's trying to shop, and they can't decide if they want to go with a Mac or, a Windows computer. And they just happen to stumble upon the article that way. I also find it so interesting, the direct, 221 visitors direct. That seems like a lot. What's the number on homepage? That makes sense. Web mentions receive. I do not know what that means. But yeah, I find this so interesting. And when I discovered this, it actually made it a little more complicated for me because all of a sudden, I don't know what I want to do. It makes me want to keep the site because I think it actually might be working. I just, if I just mend the site now to focus on video content and redo it visually to match the aesthetics that we're going with, the new logo and, and probably ditch this theme altogether, truthfully, and make it more video focused and everything else. I wonder if that's the move, but this costs money. And, right now we're not making no money here at TechInform. So I don't know. This is a very interesting predicament that I have to figure out today, because I'm gonna not share my screen for this because it will show some personal details. But yeah, I mean, it's not when I say it's not super expensive, it's not, but it's way more expensive than a WordPress site, because I have so to break down the ownership, not that it matters, but TechInform is owned by Gloop Media Group LLC. That is a company that I 100% own. So therefore I own TechInform. However, Gloop Media Group, because it does other things, has web hosting paid for a year, right? So anything I want to host on there, whether it's WordPress or custom built website or something else, like, I have my hosting there. This is separate from that. This costs additional money to host. And it's not that it's expensive. It's $31 a month. There you go. I'm not hiding anything. Go to Ghost's website and look for it yourself. But it's just, is that worth it for me to pay for? I don't know. But there are some benefits here. Hold on. I totally clicked the wrong button here. Another aspect of this too, which is meaningful to me, is, and trust me, if you're already liking this and you want to subscribe as a fan or something, don't do this right now. Things are going to change dramatically in the upcoming, days and weeks and everything. But there's a members hub, which has exclusive content, and it's almost like my own Patreon, but better to me because it's all on my own platform, and I can have different tiers and offer different things. And I really like the concept of this. Does that mean I should do this and keep this just for this, or do I go make a Patreon? I don't know, but I do have a lot more fine control over this. But in fairness, it's not like it's my own platform. That is not accurate. I mean, not that TechInform is any sort of controversial, service or content. I'm not doing anything controversial here. Some people like making their actual own platform opposed to using Patreon because of Patreon's terms of service and the things they allow and don't allow. At the end of the day, I'm still like at the mercy of Ghost. So it's not like it's my own platform. I could still run into issues that other people run into with, Patreon and other such services. But I do have more control in the sense of, it's all my own site. So what am I going to do with that? I really don't know. There's a lot I like about this, and I spent a lot of time making this all work with this theme and making a members only hub. I should log in. I don't remember what my login was to show you guys what I did here. I also keep losing. I'm writing more things down of things I have to fix here. I'm assuming I have an account on this email. No, I don't. Do I have an account on this email? Checking my email. I'm assuming I do. Okay. So yeah. So just to show you what this looks like and kind of what I did and why I would like to potentially keep this going is I go to the members hub and it's got member, extra stuff. And I don't have much here. I haven't done much in the past, but you can see like I had a members only podcast and, there's also TechInform for TechInform first, which was like essentially, and this is something that might exist as well as like, hey, maybe for certain videos, I'll have them release on techinform.us a couple days or a week before they release on YouTube, stuff like that. Then I could also have members only posts. I like the idea of the members hub here. So I don't know if this is something I want to keep or not. It's also not perfect, but this theme is not perfect. I almost wonder if, and this is actually a paid theme too, and I don't think it's needed at this point. I think if I were to keep Ghost, I would just go ahead and redesign it pretty simplistic and go with the new color scheme and the new logo and everything like that. I like the new aesthetic I'm going with for TechInform, because the biggest thing that I need to get through to in the past, TechInform was an entity. It was a tech blog, right? Now I want to emphasize that TechInform is not really like that anymore. It's not really a tech blog anymore because we may still have a website, but realistically, it's not really about that. TechInform is really me now, and that's a weird transition because TechInform was never a person in the past. Some could say it was Ryan back in the day. Who created it, but that's not really the truth either. He put a lot of time and effort and passion into it, but a lot of people did. And now TechInform is literally the only reason it's surviving right now is because of me. And when I thought about that, and again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm saving something. I'm saving a website that, how many websites have got, come and gone throughout the years? A million. Like, I'm not doing anything. Don't give me that much praise. I'm not doing anything that good. Not saving kids or saving puppies over here. But the truth is, no one else cares about TechInform. to save it. And if it literally wasn't for me, TechInform would be literally still sitting. And I give Ryan credit because it was still being hosted. But if it wasn't for me, TechInform would literally be looking like this right now with the last post from 2016. Because this is literally how it, when I purchased TechInform, this is literally the state that I got it in, looking just like this. And I'm glad that I'm doing something with it. I really am. And it's going to be a long time to grow this, into what I want, both the YouTube channel and the website and other, places as well. I also think it's important to probably be more proactive on X. And actually, I encourage everyone, there's links in the description for social media and everything. I encourage everyone to follow on X and everything, because that is something that I will be focusing on, is other social medias besides YouTube as well. Here's the X profile here. We are verified. I got a premium account because I plan on live streaming here as well. We're not doing it for this one. I got to work out some stuff and figure all that out still, but it's something that I definitely need to consider doing, as we try to grow the platform. So if you haven't already, make sure you go follow on social media, at TechInform, US, here on X and pretty much everywhere else. And you can see down in the little bar-y thing, the little purple bluish bar on the far left of the screen, at TechInform US. Pretty much, that's pretty much the handle on everything. But the things that I'm going to be updating the most is something like X here. Hold on, I got a cough. So yeah, make sure you go ahead and do that if you want to stay informed of what's going on. So yeah, a lot of things for me to figure out, honestly, very quickly, which is not really the way I want to do things, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I'm putting all my extra free time into TechInform. I mean, this is it. I had other projects I was working on, but I decided to put those all on the back burner to try to do this, because I really like the idea of TechInform. I like the idea of making tech videos, but even more than that, I like the idea of just sitting down here and doing a lot more live streams and stuff like that. And again, this one's nothing special. Still mostly a technical test, but they will get better. And we'll talk about actual tech. And I want to get involved in some other stuff too. So for example, TechInform has always been, I mean, if you look through, its past, and it's more recent, 9 years ago, but this is its more recent past. Look what was talked about. How to use Apple SuperDrive with Windows Computer. That's an interesting one. Apple discontinues airport routers. I used to love those. Phone case reviews, a lot of stuff like that in the very, very old past as well. NES Classic. Facebook is coming to your Apple TV. Okay. Are we going to get to a second page? We may not. This is on the Wayback Machine, so it may not exist here, but you kind of get the vibe of the content that was here. But I kind of want to, what's the phrase I want to use here? I want to essentially broaden TechInform's horizons to things that are kind of tech related. I mean, that's the thing. Everything now is tech related, right? So there's no real rules here. At least that's the way I look at it. So and I already said before, TechInform is me. That is the way I'm looking at it moving forward. So in all reality, I'm here to talk about the things that I want to talk about. That's it. That's really it. And a lot of that's tech. Some of it's tech related, but other things might be a little left field, but I don't want it to be left field. It's not. We're going to talk about it. There's a reason why in the little intro thing you saw some UFOs, flying around, because we're going to talk about some UFOs. We're going to talk about stuff like that because it is tech related. It might be fringe tech if you want to call it that, though I would highly argue that, but that's not the point of this right now. But we're going to talk about stuff. I'm going to try to stay non-political with anything because I don't think that is productive. But ultimately, like, and I'll even take a step back for a second. I also just don't believe in fragmenting your audience. I want to be friends no matter what political beliefs you have. I don't want to make this an overall political show or channel where I'm isolating a part of my audience. I don't think that is productive. However, politics and tech go hand in hand. So it's going to come up, and I'm going to have to play that right down the middle as best as I can, without showing much bias. And when it comes to tech, I don't know. I don't feel like I have a politically tech bias. I mean, I think I have objective things I believe and don't believe, and those will come out. I'm not going to hide anything from you guys, but we're going to tiptoe around that a little bit. But when it comes to the fringes of tech or other stuff, like, I don't know, like UFOs, ghosts, anything else I can come up with that can add into the supernatural tech, I'm just add it all in. Because I've thought a lot about that. I've wanted to make another YouTube channel for a long time, just doing like supernatural type stuff and UFOs and whatever else. And it's like, why am I going to do that? Like, why start a whole other thing? Like, like, a lot of people probably have similar interests. And if you don't have an interest on something, then don't watch. Like, it's fine. I'm not, I may have one person watching right now. Conspiracy theories. Thank you. Someone actually did comment. Yeah, conspiracy theory. I love myself a conspiracy theory. How many good tech conspiracy theories are there? I mean, I had a funny bad example. I was gonna say, hey, we could get real geeky and talk about the tech of the strength of steel that was in the building in the World Trade Center buildings. I mean, that is tech. Tech is everything, right? I mean. But yeah, no, I'm down with a good conspiracy theory. Don't even get me started, because if you name a conspiracy... Oh, no, my camera froze again. So that whole thing I did before did not fix it. I cannot for the life of me figure out what this problem is with the camera freezing. I really thought I fixed it before. Yeah, no, I didn't. I need a new capture card. I think that's what it comes down to. That sucks. It works for such a long time, and then it stops working. That's a conspiracy. You know what it is? Big tech. Big tech is sabotaging me. They don't want me to tell the truth, and they're sabotaging me. The funny thing is, the rest of my setup, I think I'm liking. And actually, since we have a listener watcher here, how does everything seem to you besides the stupid freeze up and everything? How does the quality look? How does the audio sound? Is there any issues? Because this is my first live stream. I'm going to be doing these several times a week moving forward. This is my first one, and it's not really about anything, because a lot of it's fixing the problems, figuring out what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be taking a microscope over this later and looking at everything and be like, hey, what problems did I have? Like my stupid camera going out again. I thought I fixed that. I did not. Now that will definitely have to be fixed before the next one. I had some audio issues earlier that I was trying to work out. I think I worked them out, but I'm not sure. I'm not listening to myself right now, so I will have to take a look at that later. But how's everything looking to you? Or anyone else watching? I'm actually not looking at any view counters, so I don't know how many people are actually watching. I think we have a couple. But if anyone wants to share in the chat, let me know. I'm really mad about that camera, though. Maybe it is a conspiracy. But I will talk about the tech roll. Carry on with your stuff. Okay, carry on with my stuff, I guess. I will talk a little bit about tech, though, and the gear I'm using to put this show together. I am using a Canon C300 as my main camera here. This is, I think it's looking really good, using a Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter lens. That's as I kind of described earlier, that's going into a capture card. It's an Elgato Cam Link that I think is having some issues. PC specs. So for the actual live stream, my main computer right in front of me, right here. It is a M4 16-inch MacBook Pro. What is the exact it's M4 Pro processor, 24 gigs of RAM. setup tour. Setup tour would be great. I thought about this earlier. I need to set up another camera feed so I could actually show things, though some of the place is not ready to be seen yet. Over here, I have my gaming computer. It's I'm actually all laptop based now because I always had a good gaming desktop, but I found that I just don't need it anymore. So I got myself a good gaming laptop. Totally forget the specs of this thing now. What is this? It's an Alienware. I completely forget the model number, but it's got a Ultra 7 155H with 32 gigs RAM, and then this has the 4070 graphics card. I will say the Alienware does not overheat. Never had an overheating issue with it. But I have with other computers and even older computers. I have an older Alienware 13-inch. Actually, I don't think that guy overheated much either. But these Alienwares are like gigantic laptops. But I do hear you. Like, I've heard so many issues with like the new Razer Blade, like the Razer Stealth laptops and everything. They've had massive issues recently. I had an Asus laptop I got from Best Buy. I had it for a day, and you couldn't do HDMI out of it. It would just crash. I don't know. I couldn't figure out the issue at all, and I ended up returning it. And then I got this Alienware. I've been loving the Alienware, though I just don't game as much as I used to. When I was younger, I'm gonna sound old now. When I was younger, I gamed all the time, but nowadays, I'm a father of two. I have a full-time job, and it's not as easy to game anymore. And now I don't care about the quality and stuff as much. So for example, I have a PS3 I got recently. It's right on the side here. You can't see it, but it's a backwards compatible PS3. I've been really liking that. I also got this a couple months ago. Oh, I just hit a bunch of stuff on my desk. I got this a couple months ago. It's the Lenovo Legion Go. I know it's kind of rated the worst of the PC handhelds. I've had all of them. I've had the Steam Deck. I've had the ROG Ally. I've had this. Probably had something else I'm not thinking of. But I actually like the Legion Go the best because I like being able to detach the controllers. Have we reached technological limits? I believe to some extent we have. I think we kind of have. I think that well, actually I'm not going to take it out because there's a bunch of stuff on top of it, but I have a laptop here. It's an Alienware from 2018, I want to say. And I do feel in many ways that I could use as my daily laptop today. It also has to do with the fact that like the processor was high end at the time. It's got a 1060 graphics card in it. Maybe not the best for gaming nowadays, but it's definitely fine for everything else. You get a high-end computer from 8, 9, 10 years ago, and it's still fairly good today. I mean, we use a lot of things now that are old, but think about this. We say that in that aspect, or in that perspective, rather, that I just mentioned, let's go back if we were having this conversation in 2001. Okay, 10 years ago, 10-year-old computer at that point was 91. Oh my Lord. It would have been like you were in the Stone Age, that in that same type of scale, where nowadays we're in the same realm. I mean, I have an iMac G4 here. It's kind of useless, but it's super fun. And it's a little laggy with my little animation here, but it's playing the same animation that, this is actually the Alienware laptop plugged into the TV, but it's playing the same animation. It's still on a modern website technically doing that. Technology hardware has slowed down, and the software has gotten so much optimized that you can just do a lot with very little. And I just don't think it matters as much. I used to be very excited. And that time frame you just said, 2001 to 2017, like I was always excited for the new tech. I'm not so excited anymore because the upgrades are like 5%, 10% at max. And a lot of times it's not really a big hardware upgrade. It's just software that the old model gets anyway, to a point. Like as a good example, this year, just a couple months ago, I think like 2 months ago, I bought for an amazingly good price. I bought a Pixel Fold. So this is the original Pixel Fold, not the Pixel Fold 2, but the original Pixel Fold. I got this brand new for $600. Brand new. Amazon. $600. This was what, a $2,000 phone when it came out? The new one's like $2,000. But I got a brand new. It's like 2 years old. I saved all the money on it because the new one doesn't interest me at all because I'm not going to spend the money on it. And this does everything that does. I mean, there's obviously some differences here and there and everything else, but like, I'm just not interested. I can rock a little bit older of a device or my iPhone of choice right now. It's an iPhone 16e. I didn't have to get the latest and greatest iPhone because you know what? For me, the software is all the same. I don't need to have the latest and greatest of everything. I mean, the camera I'm using right now is a great example. I want to get the date right on this because I completely forget when this camera came out. Okay, you guys ready for this? The camera I'm using right now, which is, I think, looking great, right? It's the C300. Came out in 2011. 2011, this camera came out. And yes, the specs of this camera are not great. This camera doesn't do 4K. It doesn't have autofocus either. This is a full manual focus setup. But for a shot like this, which by the way, this camera was designed for, to some extent, for like static stuff or cinema stuff or movies, TV shows, whatever, short films. I don't need 4K for live streaming. Or even, honestly, any YouTube videos on this channel for that matter. I don't need it. Now, what's crazy is I'm not going to take everything apart and show you. This camera's big. This camera's like this big. It's a cinema camera. Google a Canon C300. I mean, I'll do it for you. Because I want to show the actual... Okay. Though we have to go old. Mark 1. Okay, I'll show you guys. Lost my screen share. Okay. Here we go. Here's a Canon C300 here for your viewing pleasure, right? This is the camera. Has the whole top handle, has the screen. You can see you can get these fairly cheap, considering these were at launch $20,000. They were $20,000 cameras, and now you can get one for under $700. It's about what I got for mine. Anyway, the reason I was bringing this up is this, as an example, is the just only out, what, a few months now, or this is the Canon V1 or PowerShot V1. This is that new PowerShot everyone wants. It's the great YouTube camera because you can vlog. I'll show you this. You can vlog with it. You can see how wide the lens is and everything. Objectively, on paper, this V1 is better than the C300 in every way. I mean, this is 4K video. It's so much smaller, has a much better screen. You know, it's got great image stabilization. I mean, you can go on and on and on. This is a fantastic camera. But if you just took the video, the raw video from both devices and said, what looks better? I think 9 times out of 10, people would say the C300 because it has just a look to it of like professionalism. And that's just because when you spend so much money on something, even if it's 10 years ago or more, in the case of this camera, and you get a professional item, it just tends to last a lot longer. And you're right. It's just technology just isn't leaping as forward as it used to. And there's certain things that objectively, like, sure, would our new camera have great autofocus and a bunch more features and, stuff like that? Of course it would. But is the quality, the objective quality going to look better? Maybe, maybe not. 10% better, 20, 30? I mean, it's a tough thing. It's just like why hi-fi like audio guys out there love, they love get speakers that are like 20, 30, 40 years old because they perfected speaker technology decades ago. I think we are in the realm of, we have kind of perfected what we call the personal computer. And the reason I believe that is because I just think more and more people aren't getting personal computers. The market for a computer is less and less. I mean, as is, the majority of the market is businesses, right? And they're mostly doing web browsing and stuff. But what happens when, AI takes more over, or when you have, technology that gets inserted into your body? It gets inserted into your brain, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, just sent the email. And you literally just thought it up in your brain and you sent it. I mean, we're not that far away from stuff like that. It's going to start smaller. It's going to, Neuralink, yeah, as an example. It's going to start smaller. I mean, look, we all probably saw the new Meta, Ray-Ban glasses. What are they called? The Meta AI glass, Gen 2, I believe. Or is that not the right one? I keep getting confused with these stupid Meta Ray-Ban. I think it's not the right one because I think they're called the display or something. Let's take a look at Meta. Okay, here they go. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. What ones do we got here? I don't know if these are the new ones or not. I don't think they are. Oh no, this is it. It's these guys right here. I want this. I just do. Look how cool this is. This is Google Glass, but better and still existent because Google Glass obviously did not last. But this is amazing. I mean, like, legitimately, something like this will make me not bring my phone with me. And I'm super excited for that potential. And just think, this is like the beginning of this, right? The very beginning. Wait until this gets one better, which it will. 5 years from now, this will be like amazing. And then another 5 years from now, it will be implanted in your brain. Maybe I got the time frame a little wrong of when all this is going to happen. Again, I'm not working at Meta. I'm not working at Apple and Google and all these other companies that are ultimately working on the same stuff behind the scenes. But this is the future. And I just think that we've perfected where we are with personal computers because I just don't think people are going to use them as much. I mean, look, I've, just like I said, I could do all my work for the most part on my 2018, old gaming laptop. I also could probably do like 90% of the work I do on a Chromebook because everything's web-based anyway. You just need a good web browser, right? I mean, unless you're doing something that requires a lot of resources, video editing, photo editing, coding, development, even some of that doesn't require resources. Some of it does. Depends what kind of, it depends what you're doing. If you're a web developer, you could do it on a Chromebook. Music creation, you could get away with, if you're not doing that stuff, you could get away with a Chromebook. Can AI replicate creativity? Is that what you're saying? Replace. Okay. This is a tough one. Because I wouldn't call myself a musician, but I have made music my entire life. When I was a kid, I was making music. I've been doing two things my entire life: making videos and making music. And so I look at myself as a creative person. But the last couple of years, because I don't have time to sit down, grab the guitar, grab a microphone, record songs without being interrupted by the kids or anything else, I played a lot around with AI music. And it's very interesting and it's a lot of fun. And I will say that the AI music, mostly Suno, that I played around with, it can be creative. Does it replace human creativity? I would say, for a couple of reasons, no. One, it's trained on human creativity. So, I mean, this is like the chicken or the egg thing. And this is potentially dangerous too. Right now, it works because we have lots of creative people out there for it to train on. But I kind of fear what might happen one day is a day that we forget what the world looked like before AI. Because then, if we all forget, or it's just like, a natural thing that happens over a couple generations. If we all forget what the world looked like before AI, then yeah, I would say we wouldn't even have creative people anymore at all. It kind of, and then what does the AI use to train itself and continue to get better and better over time? Itself? That's kind of dangerous. I think that's when we start getting into some trouble, actually. I could be wrong. But that's kind of my thought there. But today, can AI replace human creativity? Replace? I think no. Replicate? Yes. I think those are two different things. Can it mimic creativity, human creativity, 100%? Can it replace it? No. And like I said earlier, I don't want to get political here. I don't really want to get into religion or anything either, but I will just make a statement here. Just laying it out on the table here. I'm not the most religious person in the world, so I'm going to misquote the hell out of this. No pun intended. But isn't there something about things that mimic other things and mimicking something, possession, devil, negativity in that direction of how, I don't know where I'm going with this 100%. Maybe you're picking up what I'm putting down. But I'm just saying that I don't want to be, I'm not afraid of AI. But there is that scary thing in the back of my head that I can't get over with how it works, how it hypothetically works in the future. Today's AI does not scare me at all. It's mostly dumb, to be quite honest. It's very dumb. What scares me is that potential in the future where it's kind of unstoppable. And we either are making the most amazing thing that's going to make the world a better place, or we're making the thing that's going to destroy the world. That is literally, it's not in the middle. It's either this is going to make the world in the most amazing place ever, or it's going to destroy it. It's one or the other. Now, I'm not saying we don't do it. We have to. It's too late. You can't put this back in the box. It's already too late. It's happening, whether we like it or not. So I'm embracing it. But it does scare me, and it scares me for my kids' futures, honestly. I never could have imagined 15 years ago, when I was growing up with technology and everything too, or when I was becoming an adult even, because yeah, I'm getting old. I couldn't imagine what's happened in the last like 4 or 5 years with AI and everything. But with that being said, the AI's gotten a lot better. You know what hasn't gotten a lot better? The processing power behind it. So that's why I said, getting back to the actual root of this and the original question, I do think that hardware has plateaued, and we're only seeing very small incremental updates, and that's fine. It's actually a great time to be alive in a way, because I was super into making videos when I was a kid, and I started doing that on like an old mini DV camera that my mom had. And when I first got my good first camera, it cost a bunch of money, because I couldn't get a 5-6-year-old camera at the time, because in 2010 or whatever year this was, it was, it would have been a really crappy camera. But nowadays you can get a 5-6-year-old camera for like $500. It's amazing. Or the C300 as an example. Why are you coughing? Great question. I've addressed this a couple times in the past. I am not sick at the moment. I'm sick of this cough, if that counts. Drink water. Thank you. I'm not choking. I have asthma. And when I get sick, which I was sick about 2 weeks ago, I had a bad cold. I get this lingering cough that lasts forever. Weeks, sometimes months. I hate it. It drives me insane. It gives me a headache at the end of the day because of just coughing. Because sometimes I get into like a really bad coughing attack too. I need to speak to do this. Me speaking does make me cough more, so you can understand the catch-22 situation there. But thank you for caring. I am not sick. I am perfectly fine. I'm sick of this cough, and I'm hoping it's going to stop soon. That's why I'm muting myself every time I cough. Hopefully I'm catching myself in time. But thank you. Thank you for caring. But yeah, But with that all being said too, I like AI. I think AI is cool. Actually, I was just playing around for the first time. I've been using ChatGPT for years now, and I've been a happily paying member for it. But I just started. My wife actually was playing around with it, and then I jumped on the bandwagon of playing around with Google's. I keep forgetting the Gemini. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of it. And I actually got I'm testing out the Gemini, what plan? Like the best plan, the Elite or whatever that's called. It's kind of expensive. And I don't actually recommend it because it only lets you do 3 or 4 videos still. But yeah, no, it's interesting. You know, it's funny. So you ask DeepSeek versus ChatGPT. I would have said ChatGPT, but I've been having more and more issues with it recently. I was not on the bandwagon of everyone calling ChatGPT 5 like bad, like, oh, it lost its personality or stuff like that. It's a tool at the end of the day. Like, I don't have an AI relationship, or sorry, I don't have an AI relationship. I don't have a relationship with my AI. Okay. I'm not dissing people that do. I actually think there's a great market there. I think it can be a beneficial market there for people. Like, no judgmentalness with that at all. I'm just saying I don't have that. I don't have a romantic relationship with my AI like that. It's like it's becoming a thing with a lot of people. With that being said, sorry, I'm getting so distracted here. Distraction, not good. Huh. I don't know what I'm seeing. I saw something on my security camera that totally like just was like, what is that? I'll get to your, let me finish my thought. And I'll get to your latest comments. No, did my video freeze? Oh, I thought my video froze. Now we're good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, ChatGPT though, ChatGPT 5 though has got, I don't like the restrictions put on it. That is what I don't like. And I'm not talking about like again sexual ones or this or that, or I don't want to tell me how to make a bomb. I probably shouldn't have said that on here, even here on YouTube. I'm not talking about that. Obviously have restrictions on those type of things if you wish. Though I do think even sexual content, I feel like they could loosen up on it. Not that I'm a customer or partaking in that, but I think as general, we're all very prude. I don't know why that exists in like modern civilization. I think that's stupid. So that's again my opinion there. But yeah, no, it has kind of sucked recently. It's why I've actually started trying in Gemini, but Gemini's worse with it. I just complained about ChatGPT 5. No, Gemini's way worse. I'm struggling to get like prompts through without it saying, sorry, I can't do that. It's like, I asked you like what time it was. Like, what controversial thing is that? But no, it really does not like much of anything. So DeepSeek is pretty cool. I think it's better in that regard. But that's the problem. There's different AIs for different things, you know. I find at the end of the day, that Gemini is better with photos. And if you want to edit photos with it and stuff like that, ChatGPT is really good for coding. And I do a lot of coding. I mean, all this background and this, and even the TechInform live thing. And I can change this too, which is cool. Like you can see here, I'll do it. So I just change the bottom thirds, you know, or I can say, ChatGPT, and I can change this stuff. And that's all. I coded all of that through ChatGPT because I'm not a professional developer. And I like that. But yeah, that's how I feel about all that. There are a couple of times humans being dependent on AI. Wait, there are a couple of times human beings being dependent on AI. I don't know 100% know what you mean there, but I get where you're going with it. For daily work, humans are being lazy. Yeah, so a lot of people are using it for work. And don't get me wrong, I'm not better than anyone else. I use AI pretty much every day for something, helping me fix an email before I click send, for doing this stuff, like I said, but I'm not a professional developer. I can develop a little. I do a little bit of web development. I'm not particularly good at it. I know enough to like fix the issues that AI creates because AI is not perfect, even in that world. But I wouldn't be able to do some of these things without AI. So it's a benefit for me, or it fixes things. I may start something and it can help fix it. So it's a benefit for sure. And that doesn't mean being lazy, because I'm just not a developer. I have my skill sets in other places. So it's not about being lazy. If I sat here and really, 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 really tried hard, I could probably do a lot of these things that I use AI to help me with. But it's not worth my time. It's not my job. It's not what I'm doing. This is a hobby. So, if I can save literally, like, look, AI made this whole background thing in like 30 seconds. This would have taken me 2 hours. So yes, call it lazy if you wish, but I don't feel like that's lazy. I think that's just me being smart at that point. But there are people though, that literally every second of every day have AI helping them. And it is making people lazy, including myself, by the way. But you know what? I have another statement to make with that. You know what's really making me lazy? And I think is way worse than AI? Short form content, especially YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all the short form content. That has honestly ruined my life in a way. And I think a lot of people's, because it's addicting. And I want to stop. Like, I love YouTube. I love YouTube. That's why I'm live streaming here. I don't want to leave YouTube. There's no place else to go. I watch 90% of the things I watch is on YouTube. Not TV or anything else. It's YouTube. But why can't we turn shorts off? Please. The Google gods. Let me turn off shorts, because I just don't want to see them. They're really terrible. And yes, you could say, Trevor, have the willpower to just deal with it and not watch it. But like, there's many times here. Let's see if it happens. I'll just launch the YouTube app, right? I bet you it goes right into a short. Yep, there it goes, right into a short. I launch the app all the time and it just goes right into a short. You can't get around it. But I do think it's made me lazy, and it's like, oh, I'm going to start my day. And then it's like, oh, go out on my phone, checking notifications, and I want to go see if some of my favorite YouTubers upload a new video. And it's like, oh, you get stuck on the shorts for 15 minutes. Or make a separate app. Yeah, I'm fine with that. You make a YouTube Shorts app. 100% agree. But no one wants to do that. The reason YouTube just doesn't allow you to turn on and off or have separate apps is because they know it. Like, they're not stupid. These short form, the short form content's getting so many views, and it is making a substantial amount of money now. I don't know if Google's released or have public like the how much money they're making that versus long form content. And you still have to get a lot more views for short form content compared to long form content. But they do get way more views, and they do make a lot of money. So they're not stupid. Not at all. And that's the thing, to compete in today's world, you have to do it. Like, there's a good chance that I have to make, even though I don't like them. If I want to bring TechInform back and make it into a real thing and rebirth this channel, there's unfortunately a good chance that I am going to have to make like clips and stuff from like these live streams and make short form content. I don't want to do it, but like, I do want people to watch and see what I'm doing. To me, that's way more dangerous, because I think that's more like mind control. It is literally mind control, and that might be a little over dramatic, but it's not. It's literally these big tech companies. They know how to pull your brain algorithm. They know how to get the part of your brain that gets addicted on things. They know how to just mold your little mushy brain to be addicted to watching this content that just then wastes hours and hours of people's days. And the thing is, I know it's bad for me. I know there's so many people that it's way worse. There's people that are legitimately addicted. I'm not addicted in the sense that right now I'm getting the feeling like I have to go, watch a short. But when I start watching them, it's hard to stop. They calculate the position of your finger. No, you're right. That's the thing. You're 100% right. They're not stupid. They have planned this all out meticulously. Every button is exactly where it is for a reason. Every the way the algorithm even gives you things like and displays videos to you, it's all done for a reason. They have so much data on you personally. They probably know exactly what shorts to feed you at what time of day, at to get you hooked. Like, it's all extremely intelligent. And then you add the AI aspect into it too, and there's the algorithm, not necessarily AI. We don't really know the whole sauce before behind the algorithm, but we know AI, if is not involved, will be shortly. And then when you add AI into the mix, not to mention we are already adding AI into the mix, because I don't know about you, but I see so much AI short form content as is, and some of it's very funny. Some of it I like. It's like the Bigfoot ones. Have you seen the Bigfoot ones? I love those. Like, I think they're funny, but it also, like, I love it, but then I also hate it. The only reason I'm okay with those is because ultimately, that isn't like AI came with put the idea to make a YouTube channel or make shorts. No, there's a creative person behind the channel. There is a creative person behind the channel that, yes, uses AI to make something funny and to make content, but it's not like it's fully AI generate. Like, there is someone spending a considerable amount of time to still make that happen. Even the AI music I make. I mean, I've put hours into single songs. Is it as much work as making a full song myself? No, but I'm still putting hours of time into perfecting something. There's human element in it. Ooh, what a name. The Tasteful Thickness says, I use Windows 11, by the way. Well, welcome to Windows 11. I use Mac OS. Sorry, the worst name ever. Mac OS, what, 26 now? Is that the new that's the new thing, right? I just updated Tahoe. I couldn't remember the name though. And I use Windows 11 as well on my Alienware laptop over here. I really wish I could move to Linux. We're gonna do a video on that here on TechInform at some point. I want to take a bigger shot into Linux. Also, I'm totally forgetting my Surface tablet. I just recently got this. I got the Surface. Oh, what is this? The Pro. It's the latest one, technically. I completely forget what model this is. Let's find out on today's episode of What Surface Do You Have? Surface Pro 11. I'm really liking this thing. It's actually been like my daily personal device. I've been really liking it. ARM based. It's got the Snapdragon Elite processor in it, 16 gigs of RAM. I've been really liking it. Linux is cool in the sense that driving a Lotus is cool. It's not practical at all. I can't really argue with that. It's actually, that's a great analogy, by the way. Fantastic analogy. Interesting, but people act like you can just use a Lotus as a computer. Oh, but it's interesting, but people, okay, I got you, babe. Yeah, no, I mean, I have used Linux for a period of time before, but I always run into some catastrophic issue. That's the problem. And honestly, I feel like I shouldn't be. Like, yeah, no, you're 100% right. The thing is, I've enjoyed using Linux at times, but every good computer, like I'll give a good example. Last year, I'll bring it up here so I can actually share. I had a Dell XPS 13 Plus last year. Okay. And I'm gonna find the exact one I had. It was this guy. Yes, it was. Okay, well, I can't find a photo of it, but okay. Oh, stupid CAPTCHA. Go away. Okay, I'm just gonna Google image show this to you. Okay. So last year I had one of these guys. It was like this Dell XPS 13 Plus, right? I liked this computer a lot. It had a weird trackpad. The keyboard was great, though. Great OLED screen. It was amazing. I did not get the developer edition, but the exact same laptop came with Windows. It's technically Ubuntu certified. Like, Dell sells a version. You can see it right here. Hold on. Sorry. The Dell XPS 13 Plus, that was the processor I had, exact laptop, exact. And it is approved by Ubuntu and everything, right? Drivers for it, everything's all tip-top shape there, right? Yeah, well, you know what didn't work? The webcam didn't work when I tried Ubuntu on it. That's kind of a big one for me. I had a great webcam, that computer too. I do video calls all the time. No webcam. The trackpad didn't work correctly. There was like on the screen, there was like a temperature problem with like the color balance on the screen. It was all over the place of just having issue after issue after issue. And on top of that, as you can actually see here, the versions that this was supported for was 20.04 and 22.04. If I put 20.04 on it, it actually worked. Everything worked perfectly. 22.04, most things worked. But the latest version, which is what, 24, I want to say? What is actually the latest? We got to get to the actual Ubuntu website. I forget. What's the latest Ubuntu desktop? 24. I was right. Or 25, actually. Neither of the newest versions worked correctly on it at all. How can it be supported in a prior version? It's the developer lap. It's approved laptop. But then the latest version, it just can't run. Doesn't work right. You're missing all these different drivers and different things. Thunderbolt doesn't work. You know, like, it's like, that's ridiculous. Sorry, I got to catch up with your comments now. Linux has issues with Thunderbolt. Yes, it does. Multiple display setups. Yes, it does. And all sorts of basic things. It's for tinkering, not for your uncle. That's true. But see, I'm going to finish the rest of your comments before I get there. And Linux has a huge political and philosophical issue. They are all at war with each other. Politics, and it's a mess, literally. That's true. You'll know it's a problem when a reviewer is relieved to say Bluetooth works on Linux. Fair. People can argue about these things, but it just works. Needs to be the mantra for folks who push the OS hard. No, you're right about everything you said. The only thing that I always get, I just can't get over personally, is that I do have a bunch of Linux computers running. They're Linux server, installations, no GUI, just like a Ubuntu server or something. And they always work perfectly. I use Linux all the time in that regard. I have so many Linux VMs, spun up for different utilities and other things and running backend stuff. And it's always just works, as you just pointed out. Like, really, I've had a really good success with that. Anytime I play around, and that makes sense, by the way, because 90% of the internet runs on Linux servers. So, that makes sense. But every time you add a GUI to it, I've had terrible experiences. And I have some computers it should run great on. So, as an example, it may be really stuck in my bag at the moment. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it out. Like, if I do some sort of Linux challenge, I'm going to do it on this. This is a older ThinkPad laptop. Which would be great for Linux, honestly. This is the, I want to get the model, the ThinkPad A485. It's got like an AMD Ryzen. I think it's like a Ryzen first gen CPU. Got 2 batteries in it. This little ThinkPad's awesome. The IO is like fantastic on it. It's a pretty thin laptop, all things considered, but we got full-size Ethernet and USB, HDMI, SD card slot. You got Thunderbolt. Actually, it's not Thunderbolt. It's AMD. And this is before they added anything. But you got USB-C. Great computer. And theoretically, all the hardware it's older now. It should work great on Linux. And I've had it on there. It does work decent. I've tried Mint. I've tried Ubuntu. I've tried Manjaro. I liked Manjaro for a while. I do like KDE a little bit better. So I've tried Kubuntu. I've tried a bunch of different distros. They all just have an issue eventually, which just makes me like, yeah, I'm just going to put Windows back on. And I hate it because I don't like Windows. Don't even get me started about Windows, because Windows has its own problems. Windows also objectively just doesn't just work all the time. Mac OS is most of the time more stable for me, truly. That's why I use it for my daily computer. But no operating system's perfect. A translation layer would be cool if Linux is so stable with just a terminal. Just have users interact with an AI and have the AI input your desires into the terminal itself. I do this for FFmpeg. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I'm sorry, I did not mute myself that time when I coughed. I think people just don't care about the just it works thing. I think it should. I think Apple cares about that, but I don't think many other companies actually care. And you are right about the whole Linux, like almost political thing too, because the there is big distros that are like anti, like they're so competitive, but not like, ooh, we're healthy competitiveness. Like, ooh, we're going to be rivals and it's going to be great because we're going to compete and make our products better. No, it's like, if you use Ubuntu, oh, then you're like Hitler. I'm saying all the words that are going to get me banned on YouTube today. But I'm not wrong. Like, oh, you're an Arch person? Or no, actually Arch is the only one that's right, I think, in many of these circles. I don't like that at all. I mean, look, Apple's even had that for the longest time. Oh, I haven't had that. I haven't had someone be like that with me in a long time. But Apple had it back in the day. Oh, you have a Mac? It's like, that like, everyone settle down here. I on a daily basis, in some capacity, use Mac OS, Windows, and Linux every day. And I'm not exaggerating. That's the truth. Every day I use some capacity of all three, because it's whether I'm using my Unraid server, that's obviously running on Linux. I'm using my MacBook, which I'm using, now, and that's my daily work computer, using Windows. I'm using my Surface every day. I'm using my Alienware laptop almost every day. Like, I use literally everything every day for different reasons. Nothing is necessarily better than the other, except everything is objectively better than Linux stability. Windows has a problem because they like to keep things the same. Well, I don't know about that. That's at least part of the problem. Changing things fucks with legacy. Well, yes, kind of, but they have messed with it. So here's a great example. And this pisses me off a lot. In Windows, there are two different places to adjust power settings. So the power settings I'm talking about are like, how long does your computer take before it goes to sleep? Or if you close the lid, what happens? Like those power settings. There's the old like control panel, section where that stuff still exists. And there is the modern UI section. In all of Windows 10 and most of Windows 11 thus far, if you updated it in the control panel, it updated the UI. It was synced together. That was until like a couple updates ago on Windows 11, where something broke, and I spent hours trying to diagnose this because my computer kept going to sleep, even though in control panel it was set not to, and I couldn't figure it out. It was driving me insane because I don't like the Windows modern UI thing. Like I avoid it at all costs. And I finally went into it and I was like just looking at the settings there, and yeah, Windows was set to go to sleep in 15 minutes or whatever it was. And I'm like, but it's off. Like, you could put the control panel version here and you could put the modern UI thing over here, and you have both windows right next to each other. Off. Everything's off. No problems here. It looks great. Over here, goes to sleep in 15 minutes. Like, how do we mess that up, Microsoft? Like, why do we need two places to do it anyway? At that point, even though I hate the modern UI, get rid of the control panel part because it's broken. It doesn't work. It is broken right now on like my computer. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. Oh yeah, there are huge Windows problems. Having options in different places is just one. How about just having a modern file explorer? I can't even batch rename. No, you're right about that. And this is where macOS, Finder is definitely more superior than Windows Explorer at this point, without any doubt. Actually, even Linux at that, and like, great, you can pick your different file manager, but like Dolphin on Linux is way superior than Windows Explorer. Download K-Lite Kodak Pack just to see all your file thumbnails, basic shit. Something local files should never lead you to a Microsoft Edge. That's true too. That's also annoying. Like your default browser in Windows. can be whatever. And then, yeah, you search something, you click enter because you're just, that's what normal humans do. And then it brings you on edge. I hate it. Yeah, no. Also, I hate all the sign-in stuff. I don't want all my files to sync on OneDrive. And I know you can turn it off. I do have it off. But, like, I don't need all of that on a Windows computer. Like, I don't need my Windows work computer and my Windows gaming computer to all sync everything. I don't need to. What am I supposed to then have? Multiple Microsoft accounts? Well, that doesn't make sense. I already pay for my Microsoft apps and stuff. I don't want to have multiple accounts for that. Like, they do it on purpose, but it's so inconvenient. Like, I know you can turn these things off and change things, but I just don't need this cohesive experience like that. I just want a local user. I don't need an online account. And even Apple offers a lot of those same features, but you can still make a perfectly fine local user on a Mac. They do not require you for an online account at all. And yes, you really can't delete OneDrive. It comes back with updates. Yes, that is 100% true. I have tried before. You cannot delete OneDrive. It's always there, sucking up resources. Yeah, it's a great example. I hate that. And by the way, this is an operating system that, yes, most people don't actually pay for. Or you can get it for like $10 on some, sketchy website. But what is Windows 11? What's the actual cost of it? If I wanted to go buy Windows 11 Home from Microsoft right now, it's $140. $140 for this operating system that you have no control over. You can't even remove a program like OneDrive. Plus, you don't want Home. Anyone that's watching me right now probably wants Pro. That's $200 right there. Yeah, no, I don't like it. Which is why I want to go to Linux, but hey, it's just not practical. Still, Windows corners the market with apps. I use Audibly and Calibri. I don't know if I'm saying that right. ShareX, Waveform 13, and hundreds of other apps. You can't find the level of compatible with other OSs. No, you're right about that. Not just apps, but hardware you connect to the PC. That's also true. I mean, you can find alternatives for pretty much everything on Macs. Don't hang me. I said pretty much everything. You're always going to find exceptions. Actually, and I will even say there are apps I objectively like better on Macs. I think if you're a creative person, I think DAWs for music creation. I actually think there's better ones for Mac than there are for Windows, as an example. I might be saying that too. I'm a big Logic fan. Same with video editor. I mean, video editors mostly cross-platform, but I like Final Cut. I also like DaVinci Resolve. That's obviously cross-platform. But the problem is when you go to Linux when you step into the Linux world, you get nothing. I mean, it's pretty terrible. And the M series Macs, I mean, I have an M4 MacBook Pro. It handles everything amazingly. I've never questioned performance on this computer whatsoever. But yeah, video editing, I don't want to say it's better on Mac. I mean, but it definitely is stable. But Mac OS is very stable. I can't tell you the last time I've really had a major issue. Sometimes I'll have stupid issues. Like my dock will become unresponsive. I think it was a weird update before I got on the new Mac OS 26. And that was stupid. It shouldn't have happened, but like the computer still works. Just my dock was a little messed up. I'm sure it's a better experience, though. There's things that Macs are not good at. File managing or transferring to like a NAS or something. Macs are pretty terrible with. I've had lots of file transfer issues on Macs compared to Windows, where it just normally works. Though again, searching for files, batch editing files in any sort of way, Windows sucks or just doesn't do it at all. Mac OS, you can do a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's things that I don't even know. I've Googled before, like all these little tricks you can do in Finder, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know it did that. And and it does like a bunch of stuff. Yeah, the Microsoft Store. Yeah, no, you're right about that. That whole thing too, and it's kind of a shame because another 30-second rant here. I got the Microsoft Surface tablet. I really like it. I got the OLED screen one. I use it as a tablet all the time. I like it. I like the fact that it's a real computer essentially. But at the same time, it's the worst tablet because Microsoft has not put any effort into actually making tablet grade apps for it. They have the store, but the store is just these terrible web apps that really are just mostly all terrible. And they're not greatly touch optimized, and there's problems with it. And it just all kind of sucks. And it's like you're spending a lot of money on like a flagship Microsoft tablet. You think they just put a little bit of effort into like trying to make better experiences. Because the App Store does not make sense for a desktop or a laptop, but it does make sense for something like a tablet. But they don't get it. They have the opposite issue Apple does. Apple needs to make their iPad Pros more like Macs, and they've done it, but it's still not perfect. And Microsoft needs to go the opposite direction where they got to make their operating system a little more tablet friendly, even though funny enough, it used to be actually too tablet friendly. Like Windows 8, 8.1 was better for a tablet than Windows 11 is, but it was terrible for desktop. Why does it have to be? Oh no, my video froze up again. That was a long time before it froze up. I still got to fix that issue. Oh, what happened? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't get it. I never use web apps. Affinity Photo for life. I've used Affinity Photo before. But yeah, no, web apps are pretty useless. The only web app I use on a regular basis is probably like oh no, it froze up again already. See, now it's escalating. I was gonna say it's not fixing itself. What is going on? Is it like overheating? What is the problem? At this point, it has to be the Elgato Cam Link, but I don't want to use the crappy capture card because the quality is so much worse. I don't like you. Stay working. Or maybe it's a macOS issue causing this whole problem. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. It's very tricky. In a perfect world, I really would like Linux and to use it more, but we're not in a perfect world, and we got to use what we got to use for the right application. There's a time and a place in applications for Linux. There's a time and a place in applications for Macs, and there's a time and place in applications for, Windows. And when I'm saying applications, I'm not being like computer applications. I mean like an application that's best suited for that device. And this is why I hate fanboys that are like super passionate, because like there's different reasons to have different stuff. I create media thumbnails all the time, and some are only 400 by 400. That's your secret tip of the day. That's funny. I'm not surprised though. Yeah, so I mean that's just my thought on the whole thing. Really technology has plateaued. We were talking about that earlier. And all these computers, these operating systems, I just don't think they're getting the investment they used to. All because what's the future of them look like? Is Windows going to be around in 10 years from now? I don't know. I really don't. I want to say no. I mean, that might be a stretch. Some people will find that hard to believe, but like, what is the personal computer look like in 10 years? I don't know. I really don't know. And it scares me and excites me at the same time. That's honestly how I feel about it. Okay. I'm probably only going to be on for like another 10-15 minutes here, so give me some good hot topics to discuss here in the last little bit of the stream here. Personal PC in 10 years looks like framework desktop, and yeah, okay, hold on. Looks like the framework desktop. Are you saying in the right to repair aspect of it, or I don't know about that. Integrated GPUs, though, you're probably right about, but we're already in that future now. Truly. Oh, PCs are going to shrink. Are they already not shrinking? Is the number one most popular computer right now, at least like people are purchasing, I think, is the new Mac Minis that are super cheap and super good for what you get. I can't even diss it at all. Oh, I keep doing that stupid Safari. Yeah, I mean, these Mac Minis, man, are kind of crazy, and they're on sale all the time. $5.99 for this little nothing. This little just thing goes on your desk. You get an M4 processor, super powerful. Things are great, and not to mention, I'm just gonna. I could totally be wrong with what I'm about to do. Let's go to Best Buy. Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna unshare my screen. I just want to make sure it doesn't have any like personal like location or something. Is Best Buy not loading? Best Buy's not loading. Here we go. Here's an example I'll bring up. Here's B&H, already $100 off, $500, and look at the specs for $500. You cannot find a better new computer for $500. Yeah, the storage sucks. I'll agree with that, but they're already getting smaller, my friend. They're already getting smaller. What do we got over here? 4-slot graphics cards are going to die. Yes. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. Not for gamers or for people doing like gigantic AI stuff. I mean, they're still making those RTX cards. They're gigantic. I don't know. The M4 Mac Mini is also getting upgraded RAM, another notch in the Mac Mini PC column. Yeah. Yes. And not to mention they technically have the upgradable SSD. Though I know there's some firmware issues. I don't know exactly where that ended, and I know there's some companies trying to make like third-party stuff and whatnot for it. But yeah, no, I give Apple a lot of credit, but Apple is different. See, this is the problem with comparing them. Microsoft is a software company. Apple is a hardware company. They happen to make software too, but they're really a hardware company. And they do have different approaches. You may not like Apple's ecosystem and walled garden and everything. And if you don't like that, I completely respect that. And I understand. But the problem is like Microsoft doesn't have a walled garden or an ecosystem. They try, but it sucks. Remember the switch from the 90 series into pro level? People call the 5090 pro level hardware now not gamer level. I guess. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's still technically a gamer card. For Gamers Nexus buys the 90 for the VRAM, put in their pro pipeline, an AI pipeline in there. Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean, look, the last flagship card I had a 2080 Ti, and in a custom built computer I had back in that generation. This is like 2020. Yeah, 2020. Right before the 30 series came out. And I felt like a badass. I felt, I was like, ooh, I got the high-end card that I spent $1,500 on. Or I don't even think it was that expensive. It was like $1,300 for that card. It was also before graphics cards went way up in price. If I was buying a gaming computer now, like I would get a I don't even know, 4070, 4060, maybe even desktop card. I mean, I got the 4070 in my, don't even get me into the 5000 series because I don't know enough about them. 5060, 5070 maybe. I mean, I got the 4070 in my Alienware laptop, and to be honest, it plays everything I want to play at like high settings, no problem. So like another area where technology just hasn't progressed enough. Like, sure, the graphics cards are getting better. You may need that for AI and some other computing stuff, but for pure gaming, my old Alienware sitting here on my desk with a 1060 in it plays almost every game at like low to medium settings at 60 FPS. So I mean, what does a 5090 PC do that a framework Strix doesn't? Not really anything. Completely agree. Gaming is not what a PC is for anyway. People online act like a PC is a console. Yeah, you're right by that. But I don't know. I also I enjoy playing games on a computer, and I think that interestingly enough, you look at the early 2000s, mid 2000s, consoles were hot. Consoles were it. And if you were a real gamer, like sure, PC gamers would always call themselves they're the real gamers, but like in all reality, if you were a real gamer, you had an Xbox 360 or whatever. But you fast forward to now, 2025, PC gamers really are on a big increase compared to console gamers. It's also a lot because there's really not exclusives anymore to any platform. They're all going to PC eventually anyway. You got PlayStation exclusives going to PC. You got Xbox. Well, Xbox doesn't have exclusives anymore, and even if they did, they're definitely going to Windows. So, you know, you just don't have those issues anymore. And I think console gaming is definitely not dead, but it's on the decline. So I don't want to say it's not what they're meant for. What I will say is when you're buying an RTX card, I agree with you with the 5090, but like if you're buying an RTX card, you're probably gaming. So to me, those products are gaming products. I mean, I'll even go a step further with that statement, and let's go see what Nvidia has to say about it. Because like we'll just go on their website. Let's go to products. Let's look for gaming and let's not do that. Let's just go to graphics cards and CPUs. GeForce graphics cards. That's what we want. Let's look at the 5000 series. How did they advertise? Yeah. Powered by Nvidia Blackwell GeForce RTX 50 series GPUs bring game-changing compatibilities to gamers and creators. Gaming is the first aspect there. Creating is obviously like a second, but these are the ultimate platform for gamers and creators. Gaming is still a gaming product at the end of the day. And though I do agree with you, like a PC isn't made for gaming, and these products are. PC gaming is increasing because of emulation as well. That's 100% true. PCS X2 and replaying Metal Gear Solid 2. That's great. Yeah, I have I played a bunch of PS2 games on this guy. I have the Lenovo Legion Go, and I replayed a bunch of PS2 games on here. It's fantastic, actually. Pricing, hardware, thresholds, etc. Gamers Pass just went up 50% or more. I'm not using my RTX cards for gaming. I use it for AV1 and programs. No, fair enough. Gaming definitely went mainstream, but Metal Gear Solid was created by 20 devs. Now games are multi-continent sloop. I don't know what that. Either you said something that isn't wording for me, or anyone, or I just can't read, which is, by the way, very accurate. People are really slopulation. Okay. People are really distasteful about it. No, you're right. You are right, though. I mean, granted, I am super excited. Oh, and there goes the camera again. I'm sorry. Next live stream, I'll fix this camera issue. I'm super excited for GTA 6. I mean, you're right. It's more or less it's going to be a multi-continent, like game. Like it's gigantic. And you need as much hardware as you can for it. Granted, it's not going to be out in PC at launch. It's going to be console only at launch. But I'm super excited for that, without any doubt. But I also do agree. It's like I probably haven't had more fun playing a game in recent time than me replaying one of my favorite games from my childhood. Very obscure game that probably not a lot of people have ever heard of. I'm going to pull it up. I replayed this on the Legion Go a little while ago, and I had so much fun playing it. It was Road Trip Adventure. I don't know if anyone here has ever heard or played this, but I loved this game when I was a kid. So much fun. Only came out on the PlayStation 2. It technically kind of was on the PS3 in Japan only. But I was never able to get it on a PS3 personally because I tried. I tried. And yeah, I replayed this in way better quality than the PS2 could ever do emulating it. And I played it on a Windows handheld gaming computer, and it was excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just a stupid game from my childhood, and I absolutely loved it. And I had more fun playing this than any modern game anytime recently. It was honestly a lot of fun. GTA 6 is going to be filtered through an HR firm, and Sweet Baby Incorporated, a non-optimized ether, and non-optimized either. I don't know. I really don't know. GTA 5 definitely was pretty. I mean, some of the things they say are pretty crazy. Oh God, I hate the cough, everyone. I hate the cough. I don't know. Yet to be seen. I'm not going to comment further on that because I really just don't know. You could be right. I would not be surprised if you're right. I really don't know. Rockstar Games also doesn't give a crap sometimes. But I will be disappointed. Okay, this gets so political so fast. I'm going to be misquoted. This is going to be like this is the hot take of the day, and I don't want this to be the hot take. Just bear with me. I do not want GTA 6 to be woke. Whether you believe wokeness is good or bad, that is up to you. But I think objectively, Grand Theft Auto can't be woke. Grand Theft Auto is the anti-woke. It always was. So if GTA 6 ends up being woke, I will be very disappointed. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's because I know I know someone is going to be offended by something I just said. I'm glad that I have no one watching me besides like 2-3 people, because someone inevitably would be offended by what I said. We've seen viral clips of Asmongold comparing decade-old gamers you can swim in the water into modern games where you have no waves/fish. Yeah, no, you're totally right. I've seen the same thing from Asmongold. Games have gotten worse in many regards. They put attention to detail in older games a lot better. But this is, again, kind of where what these companies now, they're making games that just make money fast, and they don't really care because they're going to put another game out in a year from now. You know, they're just popping them out and there's no care to it, and they just want the money. I think that, see, Grand Theft Auto is not like that because it takes 10 plus years to make these games. So it has to have lifespan to it. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but if GTA 6 was a flop and no one purchases it, Rockstar Games is probably out of business. They literally got billions of dollars into this. So if this was like a complete flop, it's the end for them. Like, they are putting everything on the line. Now, it probably doesn't feel like it to them because they know it's not going to flop. You can't have passion when there are 2,000 devs. Is that true? I don't really know. I don't know if I believe that. The problem is who's influencing. Like, you know what the problem is? Who are those 200 devs? Because if like 1,000 of those devs are the woke people I just spoke about, you could have some problems. But if those 2,000 devs are just good, hardworking people and trying to make the best video game they know how, I think they can be passionate about it. Like, I think if you went to a Rockstar engineer or developer and said like, hey, do you like your job? Are you passionate about what you do? I think they'd say yes. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think the problem is, though, when you have 2,000 developers, it isn't your game. It really is a collective, and in a way, a minority amount of people, a couple of people can ruin it for everyone. And, you know, what are the executives doing? You know, because that's the other thing. Someone might like their job and be a really good developer, but if they're being forced by their boss to make the game into a direction where you as the developer don't see fit, like that's a problem for sure. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of questions that and truly we can't answer until we see GTA 6. But you are right. You brought up some good comparisons, and you're right about, like, it does happen a lot. No, you're totally right. No, you're 100% right. I mean, look, the biggest games of modern history have been pretty small development games, all things considered. And it's crazy. It's great to see. I didn't mute myself, did I? I don't know what happened there. That's also because, like, when you're like a small team, you can be really passionate about everything. And really make the game that you want to make, opposed to what the executives are telling you. And the executives have no clue how game development works, you know? Yeah, no, I mean, it's all very interesting. I mean, as far as GTA 6 is a weird example, there's no other game to compare GTA 6 to. So in all reality, like, we just have to see what happens, because there's no other comparison in existence. There's just no way to compare it directly to another game. So we'll see. I'm excited to at least see I'm excited to see how it comes out. I will be the first to criticize it, though, if it comes out bad. Anyway, I think that might be it for me, guys. I've been going way longer than I expected because of all these wonderful comments. What I am going to ask is, for everyone watching right now, please subscribe if you haven't already. Go follow on X, as I'll be having some updates there of when the live streams are going to be and stuff like that. This was originally just a test stream to make sure everything was working, and obviously the camera keeps having issues. But I'm going to do these more often, and maybe I'll be back tomorrow with another one. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe, all that stuff. I got X link in the description, stuff like that. And now you can hear my wonderful ending song made by AI.
The stream is done, we've had our fun. Talk tech from Earth to the cloud and sun, from gadgets old to the future new. Thanks for hanging, it's all with you. That TechInform Live with Trevor, we'll be back again, so stay tuned forever. From May 17, 2010, we shine. Tech keeps rolling and we're still online. Before you close that browser fuss, bookmark TechInform.us. Catch the posts, the clips, the vibe. It's all right there, the geek.